What's up, fight fans? And we are back at it with another edition here at Round One Sports TV. We have a lot to talk. Shit. That shit scared the shit out of me because I have it up here for the. Yo, what's up, Frontline? What's up, Ghost Rider? How y'all doing? Everyone joining in. What's up? Listen, we have a lot to break down about. Armando in the building. What's up, baby? How you guys doing out there? Um, we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna get into what happened last night. But just before we get into the Deontay Wilder, right, it's what I really want to break down and talk about in this video. And we're gonna touch up, you know how we do here. If you come here to this channel, this is a boxing channel. And I kind of bounce around with each fighter, but there's a lot of fighters that I'm going to touch up on. And these are things that you might want to get more familiar with. So let's kick this off right now. Look, uh Demetrius Bivol did what he had to do in my eyes. This was a guy that came in short notice. He took care of him. If he got anything less than a knockout, it would have kind of like reflected on him. But quiet is kept. Yo, I think that guy's stock is gonna go up a little bit. You could see the guy could fight. So that was good. Look, Ford losing to Bell like this. Look, I don't I don't say that it was a robbery. I'm not saying I think it was a close fight, and I think it could have went either way, right? Ford, he surprised me again. He came on strong in the mid part of it and everything, and that it was good. Um, but if he wants to, I don't know what Ford's going to do. They say all these things. He's, going to go up and what have you. He should have went up from his last fight, but he became the champion and so forth. And this is the nature of the game, and these fighters, they take chances and they take risk. Ford took a chance. He took a risk. And you know what I mean? He'll dust himself off. He'll be back better than ever. Matchroom took a big hit last night in front of the Saudi Prince. Ed Hearn couldn't, not one of his fighters can secure a win for the man. Not one fighter could come through and be like, yo, you know what I'm saying? At least I won. You could have been that guy for him. Just one win. And the Saudi Prince like took the boxing glove and was like, Ed Hearn, you got to retire because when it comes to picking fights, you suck, right? And as an ego promoter to promoter, uh, he took a hit. He took a hit. Now, some people said, "Oh, Ed Hearn should put all his eggs in one basket in the Subriel Matias fight." Well, not exactly, right? Because we do got to remember, right? That's an in-house fight. Ed Hearns wins either way. Subriel Matias is signed to Ed Hearn, Matchroom, and Liam Paro is signed to who? Ed Hearn, Matchroom. Those are both Matchroom fighters. That's why the fight was easy to make. Liam Paro actually raised his hand and said, I'll go to Puerto Rico when no one else would. So that's why it was, they gave him his opportunity. There's a man shooting for the stars. There's a man believing in himself enough to venture out in enemy's territory where some fighters that are claiming to be the best fighters in the world, like Shakur Stevenson, but he wouldn't go anywhere else to enemy's territory. He goes, nah, that's too risky. You mean to tell me that in the back of your mind, you're thinking about going to the scorecards? Because there is a way to eliminate all that. So you're basically saying, I don't think I can knock him out. You see? So, some of these guys got to be commended for, their going after their dreams. Liam Paro, I commend him for this. But in other things, in other fights, right? You got Oh, that threw me off for a second there. You got who else fought last night? That was a good fight. There was a lot of good fights last night. Oh, Dubois. Dubois really listen, I gotta admit, look, coming into this fight, it was the same thing for me with Dubois. I felt that Dubois had quitter in him. His warrior um fighter mentality can be cracked. And then in some occasions he was rattled, early and often in fights. He was in a fight with a guy that I think had him in all kinds of trouble, but I think he blew out his knee. And then Dubois came back in the fight. He actually drops Dubois like early in the fight, right? And early on in his career, coming into this fight, I was like, and then he quits with Usyk, like a big baby. Like, I felt just like if you can push him, he'll break. He'll break. Fighting Jerome Baby Miller, a lot of people gave him criticism because of the fact they were like, well, Jerome Big Baby Miller was so much out of shape. He had like 100 pounds on him, right? And I also see a different side to that. Wait a minute, you got 100 pounds on a dude. How heavy is his punch? The boy got to take that shit. This dude is leaning on him. So when he got that win, it came with a question mark whether this guy was out of shape, and that went and he gave him his first loss, right? Which people like overlooked at that. But that fight right there, what he did last night, yo, he exchanged it with homeboy was hitting him with that overhand right. And the ball, I was like, yo, he's gonna knock the ball out. Yo, he took it well. He took it well. He was staggered a few times in that fight, but he kept he broke that dude down, bro. Is what he did. I didn't expect that. And I have to be one to admit I never expected him to do that. And to fight the way and the style that he did. He definitely turned me back into a fan. And I'm like, wait a minute. And then you gotta like, I remember when they started announcing him and shit, he's all of 26 years old. And I'm like, man, this dude is mad young still. And he's already been like, and there was some pretty big heavyweights, 26 years old. I was like, yeah, okay, okay, okay. With a performance like that, then you can also see in his physique throughout the years, the way he's coming together, more into, he's not even in his prime. The ball's not even in his prime right now. So it's like, okay, Let me read some of y'all messages and shit. Let me catch up with you guys. Let me see what you guys got to say. Reporting for duty. Carl Dean, what's up? No Nostradamus last fight. No Nostradamus. I think we got on a little late. Yo, Oscar called out Bob Arum on a 5-on-5 Golden Boy versus Top Rank. That won't be bad. I would like to see the numbers on that because I know Top Rank is destroying the PBC. It's not even remotely close. It's like some dumb. Listen, I think like I stopped counting. It was like every time you put a top ranked fighter against a PBC's fighter, and they had like a thing. I think it's right now the well, I don't know what the numbers are. I stopped, like I said, I stopped looking when it was like 43 to like 6. It was some dumb shit like that. They didn't even have PBC didn't even get into double digits past 10. And they were killing them. The top rank, the history of them fighting against each other is just a one-way street. That's it. There's nothing to talk about. So, but when you got like Oscar De La Hoya, you know, um, you know, and Bob Arum, that is a very huh. I wonder if Bob Arum will take him up on it. But check it out. You know it's going to be Madison Square Garden, right? Bob Arum, listen, after that shit, he's like a little in his feelings. You know, he got in the ring. He was like, this fucking Scar Ace. That's a, and he's a promoter. Bob Arum's going to sell Bob Arum shit. And that's his guy. So come on, right? But one of the judges, come on. Yeah, one of those cards where, and he fed off of that is what he did in his little vent. Bob Arum, little cute dude. You know what I mean? Yo, every time he get mad, you little Bob Arum, squeeze his cheek and shit. There you go. No Diddy. You know. Listen, but he's such a funny little old man. He's a little angry guy. Mattia versus Tio main event. Co-main event would be Virgil versus Xander Zion. Oh, oh. Imagine that. Imagine that. I think, tell you the truth, listen. I understand Teofimo Lopez goes off at the mouth, him and his dad, and we've heard it before. They've been known to say they're crazy as shit, right? Okay. But I got to admit, Teofimo Lopez can box and he can fight. He's been having this stigma about him, about only rising to the occasion when he's in big fights. He's been criticized. Sandor Martin fight, they felt like he lost that fight. He was on the ropes in the fight, asking, "Do I still got it?" And then just before another fight, he comes out and says that Puerto Rican fighters are easy. Put them in front of me, and I'll beat them. They're easy, right? And many of us took that to heart, and we were like, "Yeah, we're easy." We would like to see that. Talk is cheap. And in this sport, this sport is dominated by knockouts. The talk is cheap in this sport. If you're claiming to be the best fighter in the world, well, damn it, if and someone ain't gonna call you out on it, and you're gonna have to prove it. There are a lot of changes being made in boxing right now. And when changes are being made, a lot of people don't like it, but they call for change. For instance, they call for these belts and these sanctioning bodies to get serious with their belts. The moment they start announcing that they're going to start stripping people, it's in an uproar. You got Usyk fans in an uproar, Terrence Crawford fans in an uproar, Saul Canelo Alvarez fans in an uproar. But we ask for change. When they give it to us, this is the pushback we give them. They want to put rules down in California, but those rules, they're trying to make them, at least in United States, as one. They're still getting pushback. That has not been approved everywhere. And that's the thing with boxing. They'll announce one thing, give you a little bit over here, but take away from over there. And there's where a lot of the confusion lie. But if you don't have the time to keep up with boxing, that's what you come to this channel for. And I will inform you on a lot of these changes. Deontay Wilder last night in Zhang, that fight was another case where we said to ourselves, we hope to see a better version of Deontay Wilder. I talked about this. And I said coming into this fight, how much can one training camp change you? And then they were showing him behind the scenes, hitting the pads. He looked better hitting the pads than all night in that ring in front of Zhang. Deontay Wilder, what he's experiencing is a mental thing. He's set on his way and his belief of what he needs to do in that ring. What it seems like Deontay Wilder is doing is staying in shape. He looked incredible. Physically, he looked incredible. But how much better or what improvement did you see last night Deontay Wilder did? In fact, it has gotten worse. So bad that all he did last night was stand in front of him and show him the right hand. He didn't use the jab. Not it seemed not at all last night. I didn't want to say not once because he might have threw one or two jabs, right? But all he seemed to do was like paw his jab out there and extend his hand. It was just a matter of time before a skilled boxer like Zhang was tired of this whole fiasco. Deontay Wilder wanted to get in a ring and gamble on a right hand once again. If you put him in boxing situations, this is what's going to happen. Deontay Wilder had no answer for him. Listen, in the final sequence coming just before Deontay Wilder went down, Zhang hit him with a shot, right? That Deontay Wilder thought that the referee just hit him. He turned around and he went to look at him like, did you just hit me? Hey, listen, he thought he was getting jumped. He was confused, dazed. Zhang did his job. He did his job. Defend yourself at all times. Did you hear a whistle? Did somebody call timeout? Did a white towel fly in that ring? No, none of those things occurred. Well, guess what he has to do? And he took him down. And it was sad to see, quite frankly, because honestly, he is an American boxing legend, Deontay Wilder. And for what he has done for the Americans in the heavyweight division, listen, for a very long time, tell me who was the last good heavyweight American champion? Who did you have to cheer for? Last 10, 15, you take away Deontay Wilder. He was the only one doing his thing for America. And let's not forget who Deontay Wilder was and is. I believe Deontay Wilder should go to the Hall of Fame, but I believe he should not be ruining his record anymore. This right here should have not occurred. His coach is a defensive minded coach, not an offensive minded coach. And I don't think listen, well, it looked like he wasn't working at anything in the gym. And I bet they worked on a lot of things. A lot of things occurred in that ring last night. And Deontay Wilder, as soon as the bell went off, he just he locked into this mindset that all he wanted to do is throw the right hand. It was less and less every time we see him, less offense. And he's not getting any better at the age of 38 years old. But Deontay Wilder, once upon a time, defended his heavyweight championship a record 10 times. In fact, Muhammad Ali has 10 successful title defenses. That ties in with Muhammad Ali. In fact, so for people to say that he shouldn't go to the Hall of Fame, he shouldn't go to the Hall of Fame. Hold up. Let's pull up Deontay Wilder's boxing record here. Hold on, I can do that. Dante Wilder. Okay. Uh, Dante Wilder's record is 43 fights with 42 knockouts. 43 fights with 42 knockouts. He has 4 losses, and in those 4 losses, he's been knocked down 3 times. Knocked out 3 times in the 4 losses. Right? Okay. 43 fights and 42 knockouts. Manny Pacquiao has 8 losses and 5 knockouts. You mean to tell me he ain't going? There have been many men that have gone to Hall of Fame that have been knocked out. That's not what gets you in the Hall of Fame. What gets you on the Hall of Fame is what you did in your boxing career. And I got to admit, Deontay Wilder, for a very long time, he knocked out on percentage-wise About 91% of all his competition. That's crazy. You got to admit, that's pretty good right there. So, he's 6'6". He has an 83 in arm reach. He's 38 years old. Um, yeah. And they put him in position again, once again, to fight Anthony Joshua, right? And the stage was set. Anthony Joshua was sitting in the front row next to the Prince. And no sooner if Deontay Wilder would have knocked out Zhang, they were going to introduce that fight. Just like they had him in attendance in the Parker fight. Deontay Wilder loses the Parker fight. Then he has to win this fight to get the Anthony Joshua fight. He loses that again. So we're not going to get that fight. So as you can see, they've given him his opportunities. And I think that this is pretty much it for him. Unfortunately, when you're that kind of man, what's going to fuck with you in the back of your mind is that you don't want to end your career with being knocked out. You don't, that's not how, and it's going to be hard for a man like that to deal with that and just walk away. He's going to want to fight a tomato can. He's going to want to knock somebody out. That tomato can will end up fucking knocking him out. Just like Roy Jones Jr. didn't want to go out, being knocked out at the end of his career. He took one more fight. What happened? There's a lot of fighters that do exactly that. After a couple years out of the game, somewhere sitting down in the background, something happens and they're playing that fight where he's getting knocked out. And that's the last memory we have of that fighter. And they say to themselves, I'm going to go back. I'm a train. And it gets worse sometimes. But look, before we shit all over Deontay Wilder, and I know that the memes are gonna come. They're already probably, you know, I don't care about that shit. I don't watch it. Some of it's funny, yeah, but I got better things to do right nowadays in my life than sit around and watch some memes. So, about a man that achieved more than a lot of people will in the sport, but they have no problems pressing clicks and likes and laughing at this man that he has achieved so much. Go figure. Kick him while he's down, right? That's what it's become nowadays. So look, uh I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. What's up, Bam? How you doing in the building? How you doing, brother? Just been sitting here cooking. Haven't had time to check the messages. Wilder versus Francis Ngannou. Get the fuck out of here if that wouldn't be a good fight. Holy shit balls. Listen. Listen. Yo, you could put Francis Ngannou. He's back, baby. He's back. Yo, Dante Wilder don't go out like that. Go knock that man out. He's back. Oh, there it is. He's coming back. I can see it now. It's already back. He's already back. I would like to see Gary Russell versus Mattia and Ryan Garcia versus Tio, even if at 143. That would be two great fights right there. And I believe Gary Russell is on Sublime Matias's radar anyway. I like that fight right there. The Russells, they have a rich boxing background. Their dad, the brothers, they're all into boxing and stuff. And like every boxer, they work on their craft every day and they study. They study. They know, see, the Russells know how to do homework. right? And I believe they're smart fighters. Sometimes they shot a little too early to try to, and they took risk. You can't say that, well, there was one that could have fought Naoya Inoue and was like, hell no, at one time. That was a smart decision, though. That was a smart, if you ask me. It doesn't make him scared. He just admit he wouldn't be ready for a guy like that in the time frame. Just don't go out there every time the phone rings and goes like a crash dummy. Every time, they set you up. You got to manage your career. And if you weren't ready, you have to admit that you weren't ready. Look. Speaking of which, right? Naoya Inoue, right, has the fight with Luis Pantera Nari, right? Okay, check this out, right? No sooner that fight was over with, right? Goodman gets into the ring. And they like Naoya Inoue in Japan had already said it. Yeah, I want to fight you. But he had got all the way there, thought about everything he was going to say in his mind in the hotel, thought what he was about to say in the car ride. While he was watching him fighting, he was thinking about what he was going to say. So he said, vacate the belt or fight me. You know what I mean? Like he already said he was going to fight you. So, check out this situation. So he gets in the ring and he's telling the champion, bro, vacate the belts or fight me. And the champion says, yeah, I'll fight you. He basically said, I'll fight you right now. And then Goodman says, yes, but lo and behold, what's happening? Goodman is not fighting Naoya Inoue. He's about to fight somebody else. And what his camp is saying is he wants a tune-up fight and then go and fight Naoya Inoue. I'm like, what? What the fuck are you guys doing? Which they're gonna give the September date to Inoue, which is gonna probably be the oh my god, this the Irish guy there. What's his name? Um, he's like the IBF mandatory. Bro, I don't know too much about this guy. Inoue is gonna destroy him. Okay. And then Goodman is saying that he will meet him at the tail end of this year to fight him? Where do you do that? Where do you go inside of a ring, call a man out, and say, you need to fight me next right away or vacate those belts? And when he says yes, you go, I need another fight. I'm going to fight this other guy first, and then I'm going to come and fight you. Where do they do that at? I was like, what the fuck is going on? Because I looked up the fight. I'm like looking up. I'm like, yeah, let me check out what's going on with Naoya Inoue and Goodman. And if it is true, he's going to Australia. That's where I went in looking for it. And then I came up to all this shit. And I was like, what? He got in the ring, called him out, and then said, I'm going to fight somebody else. And then I'll fight you. Bro, are you putting the cart before the horse? What if that dude knocks you out? You just gave up the biggest payday of your life. Win, lose, or draw. You gave up a Naoya Inoue fight to fight who? What are they doing over there? Are they really saying, I mean, how can you want the smoke, be the mandatory for over a year, be mad because they bypassed you, and Marlon Tapales went on to fight Naoya Inoue, you screaming in the background talking about I'm the mandatory, showing up to all these fights. He's been in attendance to all their fights, screaming, I want my chance, I want my opportunity. Y'all ducking me, y'all ducking me. Gets in the ring, says, vacate the belts, you're ducking me. He goes, yeah, I'll fight you. I'm going to fight somebody else. Yo, I'm like, man, you can't make this up. But when you challenge a fighter such as Naoya Inoue, it's easy to ridicule, criticize, and sit there and text on your little phone. But when you're actually in front of that man, you see them 4 belts wrapped around him. You see what happened with the first time he ever went down. You see how he responded. You see how he shut that shit down. And then you saw how he brutalized the man in such a listen. It's like, bro, you shouldn't have went in there talk. I know that the pressure was on you. You was talking that shit, and you realized in the moment how fast he was. He was actually in attendance, front row. He got to see firsthand, and it's another thing entirely to be inside the ring with him. But I can imagine when he was hearing them punches, pow, 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 and he was seeing Louis, not his reaction. You saw how his neck snapped back like that. They kept showing it on Eastern Replay on the Jumbotron, and Goodman was like, "Damn, damn, damn!" Right? He was just getting rocked, boom, right? And I was like, "Damn, bro." So you could see that his managers and his handlers are like, "Bro, you might not want this smoke. You might want to just like backpedal out, call somebody else out, fight them. After you win that fight, just be like, yo, act like somebody called. What you say about my mom? Hold up, in a way. I got beef over here, man. You're not these. Yo, I don't think he can beat him. And that's not, listen, I just don't think he can beat him because Naoya Inoue is the best fighter in the world. The best fighter in the world is not Alexander Usyk. The best fighter in the world is not Demetrius Bivol. They were saying it in the commentary. Well, he's fighting the best fighter in the world. No, he's not the best fighter in the world. That's not what the best fighter in the world looks like. Not even close. Terrence Crawford has a way better style still at this age than Demetrius Bivol, but they have no problem pushing that through the airways when they're pushing boxing. And I get it. I get it. For fans, Demetrius Bivol fans, all right, cool. But if we were telling the truth, Naoya Inoue is there. He's him. And I promise you, listen, watch any of his last fights, any of them. Any of the last fights that, let's see, he fought, his last fight was for 4 belts. The fight before that was for 4 belts. The fight before that was for 2. The fight before that was for 2 belts. The fight before that was for 3 belts. The fight before that was for 2 belts. And it goes on. You're going to see that there's a pattern of just a wake of trail of bodies and everyone's belt. He just walked through the divisions and just took, beating champions that have never been defeated, never knocked down, have been reigning supreme for over 10 years in their respectable division. Bro, Naves had 43 professional fights, and the only man he ever lost to was Donaire. And Donaire couldn't knock him out. Naoya Inoue walked into that ring, bro, and took that man's belt under 3 rounds. He made him look average. 43 professional fights. Yo, listen. This Naoya Inoue had not even come up to 10 professional fights when he did that. When he did, man, listen, he didn't even have 10 professional fights. To a man that has never been knocked out in his entire career with 43 fights. He's never been down. He fought Donito Donaire in his prime when Donito Donaire was the Flash, and he took him 12 rounds. He destroyed him. He was like, oh yeah, all of 19 years old too, by the way. He was like 19 years old, 20 years old. The most age at that time of that fight, he could only have been 20 years old. He did that shit. I'm trying to tell you, that's what the best fighter in the world looks like. That's dominance. We're not sitting here saying we hope he gets a knockout the first time in 6 years and calling him the best fighter in the world. How are you calling Demetrius Bivol the best fighter in the world when he just got his first knockout in 6 years? Naoya Inoue has knocked out almost everyone he's ever fought against. He has like a 90% knockout ratio. In his last 10 fighters, he knocked them all out. Like Terrence Crawford. But they got no problem saying Demetrius Bivol Is the best pound for pound fighter in the world. And they're praying for him to get a stoppage against a guy they got on short notice. He's struggling against a guy like that. And you got the audacity to put him against fighters like Terrence Crawford and Naoya Inoue. If you let them tell it, that's how it's going to go. But that doesn't take away nothing from Demetrius Bivol as a fighter. He's a fucking hell of a fighter. He got the knockout. That's fucking good for his confidence. I don't give a fuck who that guy is. Okay? When you get a knockout as a fighter, going into arguably one of the biggest fights, you heard the Saudi Prince after that fight. What did he say? We got you to fight. We got a date on the fight. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna rock and roll for all four of those belts with Arthur, right? So he got the announcement. He got the notice, just because the Saudi Prince ain't smooth on his delivery with the mic, that was big news. You just scored a knockout, bro, going into your next fight, that does something for you. Yeah, and then the way he got it, because it's been a long time. It shows that his veracity, his killer instinct. He got hit, he got caught in that fight, right? And he still went forward like boom, 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 boom. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna give you that confidence coming into arguably probably the biggest fight of his career, hands down. I want to see that fight. My man is rocking 100% knockout ratio, Arthur. So hell yeah, bro. So look, but as him as a fighter individually, yeah, the criticism about him being pound for pound one, that didn't come out of his mouth. That comes out of reporters and fans and things like that. That he never said that. These are people putting him up there for whatever promotional. But these men are the people that are calling the fight. They have the most, the biggest voices in boxing. Like, he's fucking actually calling the fight, saying this to the public. You see? He has a bigger voice. And when they say that, fans say, no, the boxing guy said it. He's the best fighter in the world. Listen, rewind the tape. Damn it, rewind the tape. You know what I mean? They'll argue. Listen, the guy said it. So, and I get it. But, look, we know what it is, and look, I don't know what Deontay Wilder is going to do. That was an interesting fight with Francis Ngannou. But I believe that he has real mental issues. Deontay Wilder. And somewhere in his head, he doesn't believe in his training anymore. I'm pretty sure they trained on and worked on a lot of things. He did none of that in the ring. They couldn't talk him into doing the stuff they were working on. Round by round, he continued to do the same thing. And that's not because of his training. That is his mental mindset. Deontay Wilder's checked out of boxing. And there's a fear inside of him of being knocked out. And what he's doing, in fact, is creating the situation. He's creating his own knockout. His fear of being knocked out, and he goes out and gets knocked out because he's at some point in the fight, it's just he has this mental break that he's not doing anything he trained for. So he's gonna get hurt. This happens to a lot of great athletes. It's like that one Wild Wild West shooter. All his life he can shoot a guy riding off a horse with one hand and spin around the horse. One day something happens and he can't shoot another person. He becomes a coward. He could see his brother getting beat down in front of him, and he was like the greatest shooter ever. And he's frozen. Something in his brain that won't. I saw a Wild Wild West movie like that. I forget what movie it was, and the guy wouldn't shoot anymore. And I was like, "Come on, what are you doing?" Until you understand that what real mental breaks are to athletes, to people in life, to anyone. There could be something that changes you in your life and changes you, whether it's in the good way or a bad way. There have been things in my life I have experienced that changed me forever. Had I not witnessed that or seen that or been in that shock, I would have never experienced something like that. And some of the things in my life have changed me as a person. And I didn't realize how bad it did. It took a long time, and sometimes it takes a long time for you to see yourself. Not all the time, it's true what they say. Sometimes we're the last person to see ourselves and how sometimes selfish or self centered we can be at times, but claim to be loving and understanding as people. And I've been guilty of that. Um, so a lot of these things with athletes and their mental state, he might be the last person to see that, he all everything upstairs, he's just thinking that he has it all under control. And it all unravels on the walk inside the ring. And only he knows that. What's really going on up there? Why is he not performing at the level he should be performing? So, you know, where does he go from here? I have no idea, but Abdullah Mason versus Floyd Schofield. Listen, Abdullah, that'll be a good fight right there. But I think Abdullah will get him, bro. I hope. Listen, I hope Schofield will give him a better fight though. And that they push each other. That's an awesome fight right there. That's a good fight right there. I like Abdullah Mason, man, and the Mason brothers. There's like 5 of them, bro. Yeah. Mm. When I started coming across the Mason brothers, right? I try to look like, footage on each of them. And something happened that day. I really didn't get, I was watching, right, one of them. And then I didn't see any amateur. It was an amateur video. So, I wanted to look up on the other ones. And I always said to myself, I need to check them out more because if any of these brothers can fight half as that Abdullah Madison kid, them brothers are gonna be dangerous. They're like a family of the Russells, right? It's like they all brothers, you know. And I would like to see how the oldest one fights, what weight division he fights to the youngest one. I believe that the youngest brother just recently just turned pro, um, like a couple months ago or a month ago, or maybe something like that. So that would be a good fight right there. Um, wow, that yeah, I'm gonna break down that fight. I gotta go look up on some more on Floyd and shit and see. Yeah. Oh, oh. You guys know that they announced Jack Catterall versus Regis Progress. So Regis Progress took to social media and said that Jack Catterall and them called them and they showed interest in a fight with him, right? And Regis Progress said he hopped all over that. Hell yeah, let me get a crack at that title. So oh well, look, it's gonna get him in position, right? He wins that kind of fight. And now we talking because coming off the Josh Taylor victory, Jack Catterall, right? So you're like, that's gonna, yeah, it's still all roads to lead gonna lead to Sabrina Matias, the real champion. All roads are gonna lead to him. That's what's gonna end up probably happening. And then Sabrina Matias is gonna end up getting his fight with Regis Progress. Watch this shit unfold the way I'm saying it. Watch. And if you know, you know. Like I know I'm talking a little fast, but if you've been on my channel, we've had these discussions. And I know I kind of like, I'm gonna go back and watch this. And there was one of those moments where I thought shit in my head and said bits and pieces. And I'm like, how the hell are they gonna understand that? Right. But What happened was Matias was calling out Regis Progress once upon a time, a long time ago, right? Then all of a sudden, when Devin Haney was, going back and forth with Sabrias Matias, and Sabria Matias took to social media and said, Regis Progress, please give me an opportunity to fight you. And they said, oh, now he's ducking Devin Haney. And it wasn't like that. He was calling out Regis way before any of this Devin Haney shit ever came out. And Devin Haney's camp went and used it and tried to spin it and to give this false narrative that Subriel was actually ducking Devin Haney and blah, blah, right? Okay. So he always wanted to put hands on Regis and they had a little back and forth. So that's where he would come back into the picture. He beats Jack Catterall, Regis Progress. It puts him the number one ranked contender for the IBF. And he's gonna face Subria Matias, and Subria Matias will take that Regis Progress fight. Watch. That's exactly what's gonna happen because Tio. All right, let's say in a good world, Devin Haney does beat Sando Martin, which he should beat Sando Martin, right? I think Sando Martin could beat. Um, he was slick. He was giving Tio fits in that ring. And he wasn't letting Teal do all his tricks on him. Teal did do some slick shit to him, to Sando Martin, right? But he couldn't do everything. And Sando Martin was fighting when he needed to, but I think he took a lot of time off and he was going and running backwards. And when we started finding out how they were scoring it and they were seeing forward aggression, you did see the image of Tio like kept stalking him, and I can see where the referees went with it on in that fight. When I went back and I watched it again, and I was like, well, okay, right. But I felt like Sando Martin did good work in that fight, and I felt like Tio was a little frustrated, and he was waiting a little too much in the fight. He was waiting for these moments. He was watching Sando Martin fight him. And I think he was trying to be too slick, that he had like worked on these specific kinds of sequences and he needed them to play out the way he worked on them. It's not like he was letting nature take its course. And that's what stalled him out. He was like locked in on wanting to do these moves he worked on. And I think that that's what kind of like played a little fast because he was doing some slick shit in that ring. Teal, he was. And if you know, you know. But I don't have all the time in the world to break down what he was doing. But one day maybe I will, because he did some nice shit. He threw the jab. He fucking it was okay. He did all right. Like I say, Tio's a very good fighter, and I think in actuality would be Subria Matias' toughest fight. I gotta give it to him. But Subriel Matias is a different animal. He's just a different animal. I was watching him on some of his sparring footages, locked in, laser focused down there in Mexico. And of course, in the gym, when you're comfortable, you have no crowd cheering. There's nothing on the line at stake. Your belt is not on the line. And you're able to throw the punch with confidence that the target's going to be there. Like, meaning you're not going to throw the punch and see the guy start moving and have to take off the punch and retract it. That gets you tired in itself. In working out, the target's there and you're really slapping into it. That's where you're really learning that you're trying to teach yourself you can hit even harder. Hit harder. And Subriel Matias can generate a lot of power in a small distance, a very small distance. And he doesn't need much. A lot of people were saying, oh, now they're trying to say that he's going down to Mexico and developing a Mexico style of fighting, and that's what's making Subriel Matias successful. That's not necessarily true. He he's been down in Mexico training in that camp down there for quite some time with them boys down there in Mexico. Panda, yo, they're showing Panda. He has much more fighters, and he has some good fighters, man. And he's teaching them boys. Panda's been around for a long time. He has a lot of experience, a lot of amateur boxing experience. He was a great coach in the amateur ranks. You know, those guys, they're doing a hell of a job with those fighters down there. And shouts out to Panda and his gym down there in Mexico. um, but Subriel was already fighting like that when they met. He was already fighting like that. He already had that style. What that man did was understand who Subriel Matias is as a fighter, and he didn't try to change him. He said, I'm going to make you better. Believe in me that look how good you are right now. If you come down to Mexico with me, I'm going to make you great. And that's exactly what they're doing down there, you know. And no matter what people who they're trying to give the credit to, at the end of the day, it's the man in the ring. That's Subriel Matias. And Subriel Matias is coming into his fight in June 15th in Puerto Rico against Liam Paro. Liam Paro is the WBO global champion of the world. And lo and behold, look how some of these fighters are even starting to show that they're going to wear the titles, such as the IBO, that Demetrius Bivol came in the ring with that belt on, didn't he? He had the two belts. He beat that guy for his IBO, and sure enough, if he didn't take that belt. So that's giving the IBO organization credibility to their belt. When you can put your belt around a fighter like that, you know, the IBO is starting to come around. You know, maybe not, you know, anytime soon, but be prepared for a 5 belt era. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. We're legitimately, if you want to keep it funky, we're already in it. Yeah? How do you say? Don't you got 4 belts? What's the Ringside Magazine belt again? Come again? The Linero? Come again? We already got 5. You eliminate that Ringside Magazine belt or the Linero, right? And you make an official, and that's one more. Come on, everybody's gonna be like, "Yeah, baby, bring it." So, you know, let's see what you guys are talking about here. Let me catch up to you guys. Woohoo! He was outweighed by 70 pounds. Wilder lost too much. Yeah, he 70 pounds is a lot, Chang. That was a big boy, you know, but Wilder didn't do anything. He was outweighed by 70 pounds, and basically Chang's corner was telling him all he's doing is showing you the right hand. He's not even using the jab. He did nothing else, absolutely nothing else. He had one punch in the fight. And for all this talk, they're gonna want me to go back to the old me. I'm gonna have to get in there and take this dude out. All that talk, bro. You did better shit talking than you did fighting. He absolutely did nothing else. I have nothing to report. He didn't go down to the body once. He did nothing else. This is probably the worst. The worst. The Parker one was bad. This one was worser than Parker. What are you judging him on? Him getting worse every fight and then saying, yeah, I'm going to let him headline the event. When you got fighters like Naoya Inoue and Anthony Joshua, they want to put them in Saudi Arabia now. Naoya Inoue and Anthony Joshua. Now Anthony Joshua's on fire. Deontay Wilder is going down by every fight. Anthony Joshua's stock is going up every fight. You know, and he did get some credible wins. They sent him on an assignment One of those fights was an assignment, and Saudi Prince was like, "Yo, put an end to all this tomfoolery." Fucking Francis Ngannou coming up here, showing up boxing when the prince is trying to invest in boxing and tell people to come in. This guy is coming from one sport to and doing this. Tyson Fury couldn't do what I needed you to do, so he had to go get somebody else. Anthony Joshua, are you up for the challenge? Yes. Get in there and stop this shit. Boop! Thank you. Can we continue with boxing now? I would like to hold events, the Saudi prince said. He ain't gonna go down this Jake Paul shit. The one thing good with that Saudi dude is he wants to make legendary shit. He wants to see the best fighting the best. And keeping in mind, you don't go into this not knowing who your fighters are in your own out there. So he has plans to build the stage for boxing. And when he gets to the point to say, I gave you everything you wanted to watch, right? Now I want you guys to watch my guy. And he gonna headline some shit or whatever. And they're gonna give that guy favoritism, right? But just like everyone ever in the history of boxing, you could put anybody in position to do something. They're gonna have to pull it off. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I had an amazing show. Bam Bam Boogie, everybody, John Frontline, Carl Dean, Boxing, Legion. Listen, all of you guys, love you guys. Boxing Learner, Zero, Fallout 1, what's up, baby? He needs his. Yo, listen, just in case you guys didn't catch the little thing I put out with the t-shirts. Let me show y'all real quick. And let me explain something because some people were like, yo, you put too many things on it. Like my brother. I was like, what'd you do? Watch the video with no volume? I said that. I said, this shirt is like a test. It's got like different ink, fabric all over the shirt. It's all different types of black fabric. So I can see what stretches better, what looks like it's gonna peel. So I kept buying different color styles of black. Everything it said on the box, it was like, you know how this shit go. Hold up. All right. So, um, I couldn't get the like my round one first downloaded, but and then I finally did. So I got it, right? Check it out. I'm gonna explain. I put water on it because I wanted to see how the patch holds already underwater. Like I'm really testing this shit out, right? Like I'm like, hold up, it looks good on it, but let me see if I put it on the water. Let me see how it responds tomorrow if it dries. It's gonna already start cracking. So this material is different than this and this one. You see? And then this black is also different. And I got those. Look, I put that on it. And then I got the back and I just put this like this. But these stars are all different material too. Yeah. And I wet it and I just want to see tomorrow how it looks and how the material bounces back. And then I'll be able to know which one I want to print with. You know what I mean? Because quality, I believe, is the best. Putting out bullshit for a couple of dollars, that's not my style. I'd rather put out less shirts and better quality. You're fucking right. So I'm gonna figure this out. Yeah. So all right, fight fans, thank you, man. Thank you for tuning in. I want to your 100% fun line. You read my mind. George Martinez forgot Barboza versus Ortiz. One trick pony. Let me get all the way down here. Y'all back down here. Facts. Frontline said facts. Tio is already talking about moving up to 147 pounds. Bam Bam Boogie said Matias is going to make all of these guys either move up or move out. Yeah, he is. Tank wants Naoya Inoue. That's just crazy talk. Cause Tank says that knowing that Naoya Inoue is still down at 122. Yeah. Because even Tank knows that's a dangerous fight. I think Tank got the bigger punch. You know, in a good world, if you gave Naoya Inoue the right muscle structure, I wouldn't be too sure. But since that's not what's happening, I just think Tank's a little too strong for Naoya Inoue. That would be an amazing fight, though. Oh, that would be a fucking mega fight. Oh, that would listen. Somehow, some way, I would start walking from here today, and I would make wherever that fight in the arena there. I will make it there. Okay, I'd have to go to that fight. Honestly, yeah, that's some shit. You know, fire bam. Armando say he's like a size medium, a schmedium. He wears his little brother's shirt. Armando, take off your little brother's shirt. Trying to look big and shit. Yeah. Yo, if I put that shirt on, I'd rip it. That's that's a small. I just used the smallest shirt kind of like to like learn how to do the patterns because I knew it was just gonna be I couldn't put that shirt on. Yo, my back would be like yo, when you see me, you'd probably be like, I thought you would be taller. Probably, right? I'm all at like 5'8", right? And I'm lying on a good day. I'm like 5'7.5", but on a really good day, though, man, I'm like 5'8.5", right? Right? What? I try to sneak the half in, huh? Nah, chill. Yo, so nah, but the shirt the shirt I think came out pretty good and shit, but that shirt is too small. Armando's a medium, a medium. Listen, one of the shirts I'm trying to have, and my man's been trying to catch me on my lives. Road rage. I know what seat you in. I'm gonna see you there. I'm gonna pull up on you with your shirt, cause you asked for a shirt. And I just want you to know that I've been seeing you say that. So I got a couple people that I will be seeing there. So they gonna get them right there. And Bam Bam Boogie, you know what I'm saying? He's gonna have to work on the highway with a sign like this. You know what I'm saying? Get some change together and then purchase a shirt. Then I'm gonna give him a deal, but I gotta hit him with the taxes. So there's a 90% tax increase this month on all employees. So, you know what I mean? He's going to tell me that his money is in his checking, but he has to move it to his savings. And it's in savings, it's his checking, but it has to wait till it switch over. It's going to take 3 business days. Okay, 3 business days. Yo, Bam Bam. Yo, listen, Bam, I got you. You know I got you, right? I got my guys. You know what I mean? And let me get this shit together. Bam. You said an extra small, right? That's what you yo. Listen, when I officially feel like, you know, I'm gonna try to get the ones in Puerto Rico out the way and shit first. Hopefully I start getting my flow in the next few days, but I'm gonna have these things off and popping. All right, Armando, listen, you guys have been fabulous. Love you guys. Um, you know, Armando with the uh, Edwin built like Pitbull. Yo, my girl tells you, like everybody always tells me, my back is like big and shit. So that shit'll rip that fucking shirt right down the middle. Yeah. So anyway, fight fans, love you guys. And I'm back with another one after this edition. Please give the video a like, share the videos. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Click the bell notification icon. Hopefully it'll alert you on the next time I post a live video. And I'm out. Peace. Love you guys. You guys are the best. My shit be like 3 chicken wings with the fried rice. That shit'll snap that shirt.